but these last couple of years working with Ms. Jones and Mr. Frederick has absolutely been the love of my life. And if I was younger than I think I am, and if I didn't need to do some other things in my life, I could see myself and the children just, I mean, it's such a blessing to work with these special needs children. It's just, I can't even tell you. So I want to thank you, and where's Ms. Jones? I want to thank you. I love you both. I'm not very good at this. Just open up with that. So first, just like everyone else, I wanted to thank you for all of you for making this happen. It means a lot to my family and to myself. And second, although you've put this party together for my mother's retirement, I did want to let you all know you're a big part of what makes the world tick. Your teachers, and it doesn't get much better or more important than that. So thank you, and don't stop what you do. Now, as for my mom, I want to tell you, Mom, how proud I am of you. I'm going to cry. So, you've touched the hearts and brains of so many children, and I know it truly has come from your heart. You see, my mom has a gift. She loves children, and because of this, no matter how exhausted she is or how little sleep she gets, she has them always go above and beyond when she cares. It's one of her many great qualities as a human being. When I was a kid, and even till this day, my mother has always been there. I could go on and on about the good times, and of course about the bad times, or not so good times. Yet, no matter either extreme, she's a woman who never gives up. She has a heart of gold and a work ethic that not only amazes me, but that I look up to. I know you have mixed feelings about leaving. However, don't worry, because Dad has been sitting in a chair waiting for you day in and day out. So you can guide him on all the things he didn't do over the last 20 years. And he's super excited about it. But seriously, now you guys can go on more trips and enjoy life together to the fullest. And as well, maybe now you and I can have some daily girl time. Perhaps creating a garden or going for afternoon tea or just hanging out. And you get to hang out with these three little guys this summer more. I'm super happy for you, and I'm sure you'll be dearly missed here at Bar Vista. However, I'm also certain you can come back to open arms anytime you like. And the biggest thing about it is that you don't have to get up at 6 a.m. to do so anymore. Again, thank you everyone for this. This is beautiful. Wow, it's amazing that you all did this. And I love you, Mom.
Good afternoon. I would just like to say that when I came to Briar Vista in, I think it was 1986, so that's how far back Ms. Kolesky and I go. And then the population and the whole makeup of Briar Vista was totally different than it is now. It was predominantly a Jewish student body. And on Jewish holidays, there would be so many kids absent that we looked forward to the Jewish holidays because it was almost like a teacher work day for us. And Ms. Kolesky is and was my go-to person for any question that I had about Jewish religion. She told me that the Circle K on different packages, that means that it's kosher, it's okay for them to eat. And any question that I had about Hanukkah or any of the Yom Kippur, and when I would see different sheds up in the community, she educated me in that. And with her being Jewish and I'm Christian, but we came together as one with a loving heart. That there is no boundaries when there is love. So after a few years of being here with Briar Vista, at Briar Vista, we came here under Mr. Stevens. And it was an experience in itself. I can still see after the announcements, Mr. Steve is going to each and every room, greeting the students every morning. And I was teaching kindergarten, and at that time, kindergarten was a lot different than it is now because we had pianos and we could sing, and there were no standards, and there was no computer, and there was no TV. There was, technology was low, but we had a desire and a compassion and a dedication to teach the children that we worked with. Over the years, I have gone full circle because I taught in a program that the program moved. So I would have to move to the school where the programs were, so I came full circle. And I came back to Briar Vista after a tour of duty of DeKalb County at Woodward Elementary, Tony Elementary, Shadow Rock Elementary, Shadow Rock Psycho Ed Center, and then back here to Briar Vista in around 2000. No, not that, later than that, but anyway, the first face I saw was Miss Kolesky, smiling to say, "Hey, I remember you, Pam, right?" And that, when you go somewhere and you come back and you see a friendly face, that is a warm reception. And then 3 years ago, after all of those years, since 1986, we had the pleasure of working together in the same classroom. And we made a difference in the kids' lives that we taught that year. We had plans for the next year, and then they moved. But it was a pleasure to be in the classroom again with my peers, because it was the first time since Ms. Martin and I worked together that I had a peer in the classroom, and it does make a difference. Now I said I have a balance because I have a younger teacher in the room with me, because that's the technology portion, and now it's balanced. But I just want to say congratulations. I'm right behind you. And the places will go together. For those of you who don't know all the places we'll go, we're planning our trip. We're going to drive to California as Thelma and Louise.
I failed to mention, this is Mr. Rusty Stevens and his lovely wife Diane in the back. Mr. Stevens was Scott Heron and Mr. Ross Cohen's principal, and he was a trip. But we got done what we had to do, and I'm just absolutely so thankful that he came, because I had no idea. He does not live around the corner, so I want to thank him. Can I tell the story about you? Uh-oh, then I'm going to tell what about you first. This nice man was full of it, but you still knew that, you knew what you were supposed to do as a teacher, an employee. But he would make his rounds every day. He knew every child's name in the school. Back before some of you were here, the heating system were just a bunch of jump-on registers. And so after announcements, he would go from room to room, and the teacher would already have the class quiet. And guess what? He would walk in the door, and he would jump up on the register. And, of course, at that time, the class, they didn't fall apart, but then he left, and everything went back to normal. But a story I have to tell you is the first PTA meeting that Louis and I came to with both kids when Scott was in first grade. Mr. Stevens had just gotten off the steps, the stage, and all of us, we were standing in the back together, and all of a sudden this little one over here was 3 years old, Karen. She's kicking him. She's standing across and she's kicking him, and I looked at her and I went, "Karen, we do not kick people. That is not nice." And she looked at me as serious as could be, and she said, "Well, he was kicking me, so I kicked him back."
Apparently I didn't kick her hard enough. I guess Ms. Phillips I know you're still here. It's not Hanukkah. It's Chanukah. It's not. Ms. Epstein, she's her kids too. But we were setting something up, and someone from the county that took pictures came out here. And we had some kind of tree that we cut out the woods. It looked like Charlie Brown's Christmas tree. But with the kids' decorations, it looked pretty good. And she said, the lady from the county said, "What's that?" And Miss Epstein was with me, and I said, "Oh, that's our Hanukkah bush. It's the same thing as a Christmas tree." Well, guess what? That goes out to the whole county. When they put it in there, Miss Epstein came up to me and she said, "Rusty, she put that as a Hanukkah bush. It's our Christmas tree. There's no such thing." And I said, "Yeah, I know that. I didn't tell her it was just a joke." But it happened. It did. And when you go into the classroom, especially the kindergarten classrooms, you bust in there, you get them fired up. It was neat. It was nice neat. And I was them with those kids fired up. And Irene was telling the truth. She was, for 10 years, she hung right in here. And I got to figure it out after a while. Why should I go to personnel to get personnel? I got them right here in the community. Let's put them right here. And the first year I was here, we only had 300 and something kids. Then they closed Margaret Harris and Kittredge. We ended up with 900 and something kids. In one fell swoop, boom, we got them all. And we needed some people. And there were several, I can name several off the top of my head. But I was doing such a poor job that the community had to bring some people inside to find out what was going on. And so these were some of the people that I brought in. But they like I say, 26 years, 36, you got to hold the record. Been here longer than anybody else. You did a super job, working with different personalities. It's just wonderful that we have people like Irene in the community first that cares enough to work with the kids. And like I'm saying, she's going to be working again. I heard her say later on, next year she's going to come and give some time. And there's nothing more valuable to a classroom teacher than someone coming in, especially in the primary, maybe read a story to the child while the teacher gets something put together for the next project, or rub something off, do this, that, or other. But it's great to have people like you, Irene, not only on the payroll, but as a volunteer. So eventually you will catch up. You will get 1.5% every 6 months. So in about 30 years, you'll get what you're making now. That's quote, unless they keep taking that insurance out. That 1.5% raise goes into insurance. But thank you. Thank you.
I won't be long. I'd just like to say that I've worked with Irene since 1988. She was here. And she's been wonderful. She's been wonderful. She taught my daughter, and she still stays in contact with her. She's always asking me, "What is T doing? What is Tia doing?" And I'd just like to say that I appreciate all you've done for her, and also for me as a Sunshine Club member, and always on the committee. I was always willing to help when it's time of patients, sometimes mom, whatever we're having, she's always here to help to say, you know, what can I do? What can I do? And I just appreciate that so much. I'm gonna give you the summer off, and I'll look for you in the fall.